Welcome to UVTV, motherfucker. I'm gonna kick spiritual ass and do this for my people. On God. Nia, nigga, feather me in. Today I'm gonna be talking about what is hell and how your ass can go to hell. Cause I love, bro, I know motherfuckers gonna be looking at me like, how you gonna say motherfucker gonna go to hell because of this, that, and the third? And I love saying that shit, especially on I be saying that shit as a joke all the time. Oh yeah, this motherfucker going to hell. Oh yeah, this motherfucker in hell right now and stuff like that. Oh, this motherfucker always doing some hellistic ass shit, some lower, lesser than type shit, some demonic ass shit and stuff like that. You just like some degenerate man or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's all demons is. But all demons and all demonic spirits and stuff like that, they're all just versions of a degenerate man. So look at that as a degenerate thought. It's degenerative. You don't know how to generate or create a new way of how to go about that thing. You have to use low hanging fruit. You know what I'm saying? So it's a decreased thought. It's a deteriorating thought. It's a deteriorating idea and stuff like that. You have to go based upon some type of monetary gain or some external world template that basically got put out here and stuff like that, or a mental crutch. You're relying on a mental crutch instead of creating a new way to go about the mentality of what actually means to you in a lighter perspective. So you're making it too heavy, you're making it too condensed, you're making it too one track minded and stuff like that. So you just think, you know what I'm saying? Like you just think that I can't even say the word. You just think dense just in general, right? So you think real like non-comprehensive. You lack intelligence. You lack a know-how. You basically lack knowledge. You lack wisdom. And then you don't know how to extract wisdom out of the knowledge of what you already know and stuff like that. That's like a motherfucker who can't go outside their comfort zone. They like being in that little comfortable spot that they already in, but they don't like to expand outward from the space that they in, and they want to stick to what they already know instead of trying to have a better know-how or another spectrum of how to look at something. Because it's not about the what, it's about the how. It's about how you doing it. How you doing it is just degenerate. You get what I'm saying? So it's the epitome of getting lost into a pocket of time. It's the epitome of having some type of mental crush and stuff like that. And it's the epitome of having to rely on some external tool or technology or a monetary gain to make it so you can utilize that as a cover up, but you're just trying to cover up some type of vulnerability. You're just trying to cover up some type of insecurity and stuff like that. You really don't want to deal with your internal energies, and you need something outside yourself to block how you already feel about yourself inside, because you don't want to actually have some type of solution to how to deal with your issues of how you look at yourself inside and stuff like that. So it's like everything after that is just gonna be purely self-projection, because you don't know how to self-reflect. You don't know how to interpret or have some type of internal mirror or have some type of introspection of how you look at yourself. You don't even know where to start. So you have to rely on low-hanging fruit or things outside of yourself to make it seem like it's something that's valid, but you're not even valid of your way of how to go about it without using some type of mental crutch or external example of how to do it for the most part. So I'm breaking all that shit down. Now, just in general, we know hell is a location or a state. So a state is just a state of being and stuff like that. So the same way how we have different nations and different countries and different states and stuff like that, we do this within the mind and stuff like that. So look at that as a large thought or a large vision or a large dream or a large mentality, a large feeling, a large emotion and stuff like that, right? And specific emotions can turn into different collection of nations and stuff like that, right? It's an imagination. So it's a mental template. It's a mental image of how you look at something for the most part. And those things can turn into different countries, and those things can turn into different states of beings of those specific thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions. Boom, you feel me? You get it? It's a different location. It's a spot. You know what I'm saying? You're creating the spot though. You're creating the space. You're creating the building. You're creating the city. You're creating the town. You're creating the room. You know what I'm saying? Anything dealing with, you know what I'm saying? Like anything dealing with the space or the room and stuff like that. The same way how you have different rooms of your house and stuff like that. You just went into a specific room, and that room is junky as fuck. You know what I'm saying? That room is very you know what I'm saying? It's very junky. It's very smelly and stuff like that. It has a lot of bad odors and stuff like that. In the spirit realm, it has a stench to it and stuff like that. It's not good to the nose and stuff like that. It smells. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just a bunch of shit in there, and you ain't clearing out the room and stuff like that. So you can't clearly see what the fuck going on and stuff like that. So it's literally like that. So hell is a location or a state in the afterlife. Afterlife just means life after death, in which souls are subjected to a undesirable or unpleasant outcome after death for the wicked. So something that makes you extremely miserable, right? Now, it's not no thing where it's like, just in general, there's a such thing as godly judgment. Y'all have to look at God like all possibilities. Y'all need to get away from that idol worship of looking at God like it's a deity and stuff like that, because that's you deifying something. You know what I'm saying? It's something that got condensed. So you really just worshiping a certain mentality, a thought idea of a subjective perspective, point of view of what someone else not already did. But that has nothing to do with God. Because y'all be looking at God like it's a he, or looking at God like it's a deity or some shit like that, when it's not that. It's a thing in existence, so all possibilities. So it's a thing that's relative based upon all of existence. So it's a collective thing that all of us are doing as the main objective. We're just going to have our own subjective point of view on how to go about it. So when you put things in God's hands, aka you go based upon some type of godly judgment, it's based upon what God look at all possibilities of what is creative or what is productive and what is cultivating compared to non-cultivating. So non-generate. So like I be saying, like degenerate and stuff like that. Deteriorating. I lack thereof. Low-hanging fruit. What's fruitful and what's creative and what's not creative and stuff like that. So if it's decaying and it's deteriorating, right, that lets you know how the flesh is only temporary and the mentality that you in is only temporary, because you have your first body, your mind, which is your light body, and then your second body is your physical body and stuff like that. And both of these things start deteriorating as we age and stuff like that. But the only thing that stays eternal is the spirit that you in, the space that you in, what you created for yourself and stuff like that, and having the essence and the substance of what that is. And that's just your soul. Your soul is just your individual space for the most part, your individual creativity, your individual authenticity, your genuality and stuff like that, your subjective perception and perspective and your point of view of how you want to go about something. So the more you put more, you know what I'm saying, the more you try to have a stronger spirit, you're going to have a stronger mentality, and it's going to have a stronger manifestation that's going to get materialized in the flesh of the external world, of what people see, of what you're capable of what the fuck you able to do and what you're able to create for yourself and stuff like that, aka your talents and gifts and shit. So you know what I'm saying? You know how to stand on business. You know how to stand on your own 2 feet based upon your own way of how to go about something, instead of falling to the idol worship of how someone else done did it. Now, there's nothing wrong with business, or there's nothing wrong with having inspiration. There's nothing wrong with having influence and stuff like that of other people's how to go about something. But eventually, you have to put yourself in a perspective of I'm gonna get off my own ass. I'm gonna have my own passion. I'm gonna have my own attention. I'm gonna have my own intention and gain my own attention that people look as attractive, aka feminine energy, aka I'm being the source. I'm gonna have my own way of how I do that. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone has their likes and dislikes, and they specific perspective of how to go about something. So what would that be? That would be like their heaven. You know what I'm saying? That would be like their leisure and luxury of what they actually want to do in life and stuff like that. But based upon what the fuck they want to do in life, they have to compare and contrast of what they don't like. You know what I'm saying? What they don't want a part of their life and stuff like that. So it's about what's heaven to you, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is a concept, there is a concept of making it a heaven that we all trying to strive for and stuff like that. But the way y'all be looking at it, based upon these different religions and stuff like that, and these doctrines and the things y'all get indoctrinated in based upon some type of authorship of what someone else done made, instead of making your own point of view of how you want to look at something, aka you get lost into their nutsack of their mentality of their world instead of making your own world and stuff like that, and you end up going to hell or putting yourself in a miserable hellistic state of being because you're following behind something someone else already did. So the only thing you're gonna have based upon your creativity is creating what they already done created for yourself. And considering you have your own perspective and your own likes and dislikes, you more than likely ain't gonna like that shit, because you end up realizing, oh damn, he did all this for this, and this is a result of that. I really don't like that for real. This really don't resonate with my spirit, my soul. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's important from the jump, be authentic. From the jump, stop trying to be like the next man all the time and stuff like that. From the jump, oh, I'm gonna just do this for, like, you know what I'm saying, like my way of what make me happy and what resonate with my spirit. Y'all just get lost into the monetary gain of other people's mentalities and other people of what they cultivated based upon how much money they have and stuff like that, when all that shit is just temporary. You know what I'm saying? It's just temporary. It's not everlasting. It's not eternal. That's not, so you shouldn't even get too lost into that either, and get lost into the robbery of that shit either. So we all understand this. Money comes and go. You know what I'm saying? People, places, things, they come and go. Everything is going through a transmutation. Everything is transforming. Everything is always gonna get transmuted and stuff like that. So you just have to always be aware. Be aware of it. Don't be scared of it. You know what I'm saying? Be aware of it. Don't be scared of it. Oh God. But like, yeah, like you have to always be aware of trying to find a new pocket and spectrum of what you actually able to do when it comes to your abilities and what you're capable of based upon your talent and your own genuality of how you go about something, for the most part, of creating and cultivating your own way of how to go about it and have your own authorship, so you have some type of esoteric testimony of the things you observe and experience or what you did, and then people can see that. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers can document that. They can write that shit down, like, oh yeah, he did it like this, and the only reason he's in this position is because of this. It's not based upon some type of lookership. It's not based upon some type of status all the time and stuff like that. Like, niggas know, oh yeah, you built yourself up. Oh, the only reason he is in that because he did this move and this move and this move, who helped him network to get to here, to here, to here. But it's like, yeah, it's not no thing that got blown up and got exaggerated. It's like a genuality quality, and that's what's gonna be seen first. And like, I felt the need to say that, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people be trying to shortcut and try to skip over certain steps and stuff like that, and then they end up pitfalling themselves into a hell, you know what I'm saying, falling down a fucking trap door that they end up not seeing and shit like that, and end up tripping and falling into a hellistic state of being, of making themselves miserable based upon what the fuck, like, based upon what the fuck I'm talking about right now. Like, yeah. So it's like, yeah, bro, like you have to be wary of what you actually asking for, type shit. You know what I'm saying? It sounds cliche, but it's the truth though. Now, right, when it comes to hell, just in general, right, y'all be talking about it in a way when it deals with the netherworld. The netherworld deals with the underworld and stuff like that. So as above, so below and stuff like that. So as above, we have the spirit realm, and then we have the metaphysical realm and stuff like that, right? So the metaphysical realm would be like the mentality realm. So like the 4th, 5th, 6th dimension and stuff like that. So that's how we gain the mentality to build a certain character for the most part. So the spiritual realm is no shape and form there. There's no morality there. There is no good and bad and stuff like that. It's just the possibility of something happening, and then it gets condensed into a thought, idea, feeling, or emotion. That's the metaphysical realm, and then it get manifested and materialized into the flesh. Manifesting is just manifesting man and woman, masculine and feminine, external, internal, directing, redirecting, building something and supporting what's being built. Father, the mother. You know what I'm saying? The father sky, aka the farthest direction and going the distance, and then the motherland of supporting whatever the atmosphere and the world is doing just in general. I'm trying to make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Father, sun, mother, moon. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And then the netherworld, from it being below the horizon, is gonna deal way more with the physical and the material world. Even though y'all don't be like y'all be saying certain like allegories and like sayings like, oh, earth is hell because of this, then the third, even though earth isn't made to be a hell and stuff like that. We're here on earth to grow and have some type of nourishment and some type of structure and stability of how to go about something, so we can ground ourselves, so we can make ourselves have a lighter spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's basically like we're here on earth to actually gain something from this experience, so we can have more growth and abundance, and we have more of a passion or motivation or a purpose for what our spirit is really doing. But that's a whole different video. Like, that, oh, that shit get deep. But like, yeah. So just in general, like, what your spirit doing is what's gonna inspire to what your mentality is gonna be doing, which is gonna be inspiring what your physical gonna be doing. But when you do it in reverse, that's how you end up making a hell for yourself type shit. When you get too lost into the physical, so you can soothe the mentality that you in, is in reverse. You're actually gonna go to hell and stuff like that. And then based upon the mentality that you in, and you using that to fulfill your spirit, it's actually going to get rejected. It's not going to fulfill anything. You know what I'm saying? Because you went based upon the external world first. You went based upon shape and form, instead of you turning nothing into something. You going based upon the okie-doke of the external representation that's already out here, instead of trying to make your own perspective and representation. So it's the epitome of you're receiving a whole bunch of things, and you're just reacting and responding what's being done to you, of, you know what I'm saying, like the worldly things and stuff like that. So you're just receiving and responding of what is being done to you, but you're not trying to push or project something off of what you're trying to do for yourself. So it's the epitome of you're doing things from the outside in, except from the inside out. It should be from the inside out. You should have a vision, a dream, or some type of thing, passion, motivation, intention of what you're trying to do, and then you project that out and then try to make that relatable to the best way of, you know what I'm saying, the best of your ability and stuff like that. So you're trying to ground something in reality of a vision of where you see yourself, not trying to go of the example of what the world want to see from you. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's mad fucking simple, but niggas get stuck in that pocket a lot. But just in general, right? So the netherworld is getting lost in the dead. So that's getting lost in the flesh. That's you getting lost into the body. That's you getting lost into the external world and the technology made from the flesh. So like what the fuck I just said. You getting lost into the technology in the world. You getting lost into the external representation of what it means to be something based upon what you learn from Walt Disney, what you learn from commercials and stuff like that, what Lionsgate taught you and stuff like that, what a movie taught you, what a TV show taught you and stuff like that, of what it means to be an icon, what it means to be a great person and stuff like that, what it means to, you know what I'm saying, like helping the universe in so shape and form, instead of making your own world, your own universe that we all can be unified in and stuff like that. It's really just a metaphor, and they be trying to control and be the, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they try to make you look at the universe a certain way, but you kind of have your own universe. Like, your ass wouldn't even be here without your own comprehension and your own awareness. That's why you have your own mind, your own subjective point of view. There is no such thing as, oh, you can read a motherfucking mind. Now, you can pay attention to how someone doing something and understand the characteristics, and you can read energy well and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, a motherfucker is gonna think however the fuck they want to think. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't even have your own mind and have your own comprehension and went through these different experiences, expanding and contracting, expanding out of a mind and condensing into a new one. Condensing just means into a container. Your first container is your mind. Your second container is the physical and stuff like that. And you kept doing that over and over and over. Being born, living and dying. Being born, living and dying. And stuff like that. That's why you have the awareness and the comprehension and the, you know what I'm saying? Like, all this just make you who you is just in general and stuff like that. But it's based upon the ups and downs of life. You just have to put yourself in life. You have to make yourself sentient. You have to be lively just in general and stuff like that. You have to participate into something, but also have your own subjective point of view. Because your own subjective point of view makes the objective point of view. And that's what make mankind and stuff like that. We have to be one of a kind of man type shit. We have to be a one of a kind type of man, but we all can't collectively progress humanity so we can be something greater than humanity, aka something greater than ourselves, unless we do that first. Not no thing to where, oh, I'm doing this for the sake of humanity, but it's based upon what humanity in the external world, based upon technology, based upon some type of narrative, or the government, the constitution and stuff like that, of what they want you to do. No, you have to have some type of culture behind what the fuck you doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need some type of culture behind that. So the minute you start paying attention of, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers, the space at the end and the world that they live in and their culture and what they're trying to cultivate for themselves, and do they practice what they preach and stuff like that, and their morality and stuff like that, the more you pay attention to that, you start paying attention. Oh, okay, they only doing that to get some monetary gain. They really ain't spiritual like that, or they really ain't about the culture for real. They ain't really about free flowing creativity and stuff like that. They ain't about motherfuckers being free spirit. No, we want to put y'all in a column and make some type of mental slavery all the way down to physical slavery and stuff like that, to where y'all have to get lost into some type of idol worship or some mental template, so we can put y'all in a mental cage of how we want you to live in the world. Because they don't want y'all to have your own world. They don't want y'all to have your own creativity and your own culture, your own way of how to go about it, without them having some type of influence over that first. That's some bitch ass nigga shit. On God, that's the bitchest shit I ever heard. But on God, like, that's dead ass what the fuck they be doing and stuff like that. They literally be trying to redirect your direction, but your direction is your spiritual path. Your spiritual path ain't gonna be the same as everybody else's. You know what I'm saying? Like, your ass wouldn't even be here unless you was already doing that train of lot and line of reason and stuff like that. Unless you had your own frequency, your own frequency, your own free flowing way of how you can do that over and over again, so you can create and cultivate something for yourself. And the vibration that you in, oh, you bring in the vibes and stuff like that. You bring in your emotion, you bring in what you got to offer and stuff like that. And then it get materialized and manifested and materialized into the flesh of the physical version of what that look like. And then using the different external tools and technology to make it easier for yourself and shit. Like, yeah. Now, in hell, the netherworld, right? The underworld, below the horizon and stuff like that. You can look at being in the physical and stuff like that. Us being below the horizon, us being in the other in the underworld and stuff like that. That's why they have so many different degenerate things to make it harder for you to basically go to heaven. You going to heaven is you having your own sweet spot, aka this based upon the space that you in and the thing you trying to create for yourself to prevent you from creating that for yourself. But just in general, from them trying to make some type of mental slavery or some mental template for, like, you know what I'm saying, to like prevent you from doing that, aka look at that as like they're trying to play God. So they're trying to show some type of godly judgment and stuff like that. That has nothing to do with the overall God though. Overall God is just all possibilities, right? They're just trying to play God. So from them like trying to block you from that, when they end up dying and stuff like that, that's gonna, bro, that's gonna, all that is gonna be seen. All that is gonna be watched. You spent a majority of your life trying to prevent other motherfuckers from creating their own way of how to, you know what I'm saying, like their own path, like their own purpose of what the fuck they feel like they need to do and stuff like that. You're trying to prevent them from them going through different ups and downs and their mistakes and shit like that. No, let a motherfucker learn that on their own type shit. Let a motherfucker learn that on their own instead of you trying to be the esoteric big homie all the time and stuff like that. No, let them fuck up. No, let them do that and shit like that. And then the only state of being you should be in is trying to defend yourself when someone try to self-project to stop you from doing that. So based upon the government and the Constitution and shit like that, and them trying to westernize a lot of these things based upon colonization and capitalism, from y'all trying to prevent motherfuckers from thinking or feeling a certain way of what they want to do based upon, like, you know what I'm saying, what they feel called to do in their life and stuff like that. No, you going to hell on an extreme level and stuff like that. Now, we know hell, right, is the place of demons and the devil and stuff like that. Now, the devil is just someone who's playing out a Satan. A Satan is just someone who's being opposing. So, from it being a devil, look at that as degenerate, right? So, degenerate, this means it's decaying, it's deteriorating. You know what I'm saying? It's not generative. It's in a shape and form already. It's not in no shape. If it's generative, that means you're able to create something again. It's a well-oiled running machine and stuff like that, right? You're able to create the thing again. If it's degenerate, right, it's something that's deteriorating. It's something that's away from something. It's losing the ability to create. It's dying, right? So if it's dying out, right, when they talk about the devil and stuff like that, all the way down to these different religions and stuff like that, they're just talking about someone who's opposing against what's being created. So in a sense, right, you could look at that as, oh, they're trying to play a characteristic of being a devil, a degenerate evil. They're trying to do a whole bunch of different malicious things, right, to make people degenerate, to focus on the underworld, focus on the flesh, focus on the external world, instead of doing things based upon the space that they're in. They're trying to create and go about something themselves based upon their natural gifts and abilities instead of using it for something outside themselves, right? So they be feeling the need to block that, so you do things from the outside in, not from the inside out. So you use external tools and representations so you don't have some type of natural organic way to have a new creative productive ability to change the spectrum of how you look at something for the most part. So that's like motherfuckers with like BBLs and stuff like that. If you get that plastic surgery or that BBL in things of that nature, right? You're trying to appease something based upon the flesh. But if we in the flesh and we know we're gonna die one day, right? That's not gonna fucking matter in actuality then, because it's gonna die. So it's not always going to be there. It's not always going to be there and stuff like that. That's a monetary gain. You know what I'm saying? That's not an everlasting gain. That's not everlasting abundance and stuff like that. It's only going to be abundant for a certain time. So a certain Instagram caption or a certain era of beauty standards and stuff like that. But that standard is going to change. That's the only thing that's constant in life. So from you getting lost into that world, aka that hell pocket of how you look at beauty and stuff like that, when beauty is just in the eye of the beholder and is based upon a subjective point of view, but you're letting some self-projection of how they objectively want you to look at beauty, that is gonna put you in a hell, and they plan out opposing devil demonic characteristics. They're just being degenerate evil and stuff like that. They're doing a lot of evil things to make you not love yourself, to make you not value your own way of how you look at yourself in the mirror and things of that nature. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to make it simple. So the devil is just a degenerate evil, and anybody can play out that characteristic. So from it's all of it is just characteristics. It's just someone playing out a mind state, a mentality. A mentality is the quality or the actuality of of how much something means to you. So if it means a lot to you to block other motherfuckers from feeling like they can love themselves by making them get lost into the flesh, the monetary gain, but we all going to deteriorate and die one day. So you want them to focus on the physical, the external world, the flesh too much, then you're just stopping the ability for them to go through a situation where they can create their own way of how they can look at beauty type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they can learn how to value and love something about themselves, even though it may not appease to a certain beauty standard, but you're gonna go based upon your own standard, your own statistic, your own bracket of what you look at as beautiful and stuff like that. That's why there's always a person or a community for everybody type shit. You know what I'm saying? The minute you start getting lost into a monetary gain or something that's temporary, and you try to exaggerate it like this is everything in the world, you just playing out a demonic spirit type shit. You just playing out a devil-like characteristics. You just like being in opposition. You just like being opposing to whatever template someone is doing. Now, being opposing of everything I just talked about with the devil and the demon and all that type shit, that's just an extreme example for the most part. But playing out the characteristics of being opposing to something, right? That's you playing out a Satan, or you being demonic, or you being devilish. And take away the bias of looking at it as good and bad for a second, right? Now, it's going through a death, right? So any thought is always going to have an opposing thought. But from you expanding, contracting, and you trying to compartmentalize the different aspects of the original spark that made you do the thing in the first place and stuff like that, you're never going to have you're never going to have a broader intelligence, a broader awareness, a broader comprehension without looking at the opposite of wherever that is. So it's a polarity type thing. The same way how we have two eyes and stuff like that, you're always gonna see things like a double-edged sword. You're always gonna see things in a dualistic type way. You have to look at it like the original idea, and you're always gonna see the opposite of what the idea is. So you have to make it a double-edged sword. You have to make it balanced. You have to make it a balanced scale or equilibrium, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you always have to look at it like, oh, it can go this way, but it can also go the other way too, though. You shouldn't let that you shouldn't let that not stop you from your actions and demotivate you and stuff like that. But you always have to keep that in mind. It's not always gonna go your way. It can go your way, and you're always gonna go to opposing thought. It can also not go your way too, though. You know what I'm saying? But you shouldn't let that stop you from going through certain experiences, and then you can see for yourself on a percentage scale, are you willing to take on the terms and conditions of going down that path of it not going your way, and you know what I'm saying? If it does go your way, and if it doesn't go your way type shit. So you're not getting lost into a want and need, because y'all be getting lost into striving for a certain want, a convenience, and a need, a necessity, when on that polar scale and that dichotomy and stuff like that, right? Just in general, you're only gonna get what you deserve. And the things, you know what I'm saying, from you getting what you deserve, is based upon you getting out of a bias of a certain expectation of a certain idea about yourself, or a certain want, a certain desire, a certain need, a necessity. You start to realize, oh, sometimes life gonna hit a curveball on me to show me that don't even mean shit. That thing I'm striving for, oh, it don't really mean shit in this scenario. Oh, this thing I look at as a need, a necessity, a comfort zone, get out your comfort zone. That don't mean shit either. So you're only gonna get what you deserve. You get what I'm saying? Like that's why I said get out your bias for a second. Like life show you, you're not supposed to get lost into a bias too much into either or type shit. You need to have your own subjective point of view. Yeah, like you're gonna compartmentalize it and see what resonates with you. But at the same time, you need to learn how to look at things balanced, like equalize. Like it's gonna go your way, but it can also not go your way. So keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Like it's showing you not to get lost into expectation, because that expectation, that's gonna make you miserable. That's gonna, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna make you have a validation issue and stuff like that. You want to appease certain people and stuff like that, or people expect certain things of you, expect a certain way of how they want to make you, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the same way how your parents have a certain expectation of you and stuff like that, based upon what they done did to make you live and shit like that. But just in general, you need to understand that, and everyone need to understand that people are not always going to be pigeonholed to the mental template of an expectation. So look at that as like the certain way of how you think about somebody, the certain way of how you feel about something, the certain way about the idea of what you think that person is and isn't capable of and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You have to let motherfuckers have a free spirit. You have to make it so they get put into a position of they're gonna have to do something on their own volition without my influence type shit. You know what I'm saying? You always have to think like that. So it's like they end up learning through life. You can't get lost into that certain expectation, that certain validation of a certain way of how to go about something, when all possibilities and God show you there's a multitude of ways of how to go about something, and it's never gonna be the exact same way every single time. Sometimes it's gonna go in your favor, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's gonna give you abundance, sometimes it's not. But everything is a learning curve. Like everything is like a lesson to show you life just in general, so you don't get so burnt out, get so bogged down, get so depressed about life. You learn how to move, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, so from you learning how to move, sometimes based upon certain pockets of emotions or certain spectrums of how to look at stuff, you have a better way of how to look at something and have a better how than the what. Because we all doing a what. What are we doing? But it's how you doing it. So how you doing it is what's going to matter based upon the what, the thing that's actually striving you to do what you're doing in the first place. You get what I'm saying? So you're going to have a better angle of how to do something, even if you being around other motherfuckers who also happen to be poor. You know what I'm saying? Also happen to be poor in spirit, or they actually poor, aka they don't have a lot of money and stuff like that. But compared to this other poor person, you're not poor in spirit though. You rich in spirit. You're not letting that bog you down. You're able to smile and laugh like, hey, I'm broke as fuck right now, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to let that stop me from being me. And God likes seeing that. You created another way of how to look at something. You ain't getting lost into a certain pocket of time. That's why I broke down like the light body shit and the physical body shit. You know what I'm saying? It's a process. You ain't getting lost into one type of process of how to go about something. You're able to be in an open perspective, open pocket of, oh, it could be worse though. Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can just create another way of how to look at this thing. You know what I'm saying? Another angle, instead of getting lost into this particular angle and stuff like that. And it's going to go outside of a particular expectation of what I've been seeing already. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like God likes seeing a creative motherfucker who think like that. So it's never going to be produced in a certain shape and form. So just in general, right? Devilistic qualities is just degenerate evil. And then demons are just degenerate men, aka men and women, aka weak mentality. So it's like lesser than shape and forms and stuff like that. It's something that already got experience. And based upon different demonic experience that be out here and stuff like that, they be trying to live through you and stuff like that. Because you have different angelic spirits you can be around and different demonic spirits you can be around and stuff like that. But it's about what you're choosing to pay attention to, and that's what's going to get attracted to you. Just in general. So how much you pay attention to weaker, lesser than mentalities and stuff like that, the more demonic type of spirits or demonic type of people are going to try to take advantage of you, because you keep paying attention to negative shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like look at it like that. Like, look at the positive, like the angelic shape and form. I mean, the angelic spirits and stuff like that, the angelic spaces and stuff like that of who is out here in existence, and then look at demons like, look at them as like negative spirits and stuff like that. Like things, like certain spirits that put you in a real negative, you know what I'm saying, pessimistic, miserable state of being and stuff like that. They're trying to make you stay fixated in a certain feeling and emotion, and the angelic experience like to make you have a higher angle of how to look at a thought or an idea type shit. So just in general, right? It's always gonna go both ways type shit of those happenings happening. So you always gonna be around angelic spirits, and you're always gonna be around demonic spirits. But it's about what you're paying attention to and what you utilizing those spirits for. You know what I'm saying? And the attention that's on your mind. So that leads into what I was talking about with like the afterlife and stuff like that, right? So the afterlife is just life after death. So what type of life are you trying to create for yourself after you're dead type shit? So if you believe in something that's greater than you, because that's all spirituality is the actuality of all the different spirits and stuff like that, all the different spaces. all the different things out here in existence, all the different states of beings and stuff like that. So all the way down to motherfuckers based upon them being indoctrinated and looking at religion a certain way. I mean, looking at heaven and hell in a certain way and stuff like that, and looking at afterlife a certain way. You picked up your knowledge from a book, so it's a doctrine. So you're indoctrinated. You can't get past that book. You can't get past that mentality and stuff like that. So after you dead, if you believe in the heaven and hell and stuff like that, you just gonna end up going to hell in that specific way after you dead, because that's the life that you want after you dead type shit. Like, that's where your spirit is gonna go. It's gonna go into a hellistic state of being. So that's like a Christian motherfucker, or like someone believing in the Abrahamic God, and they're gonna burn up. And it's gonna be like a fiery pit of hell that's gonna be everlasting and stuff like that. So look at that as like, that's like when you get burnt out with something and things of that nature, right? When a motherfucker get super burnt out, they get tired. You know what I'm saying? That's like the life you're creating after you dead, after you end up leaving the flesh and you end up going to the ethers and stuff like that. The space that you put your spirit in, it's gonna be burnt out. And it's gonna create that process of going to hell, and you end up going through spirit evaporation and stuff like that. So, and that's really a whole different video. But you end up spiritually evaporating yourself. You end up crashing out yourself. You end up burning yourself out. So you have a lack of spirit. You have a lack of motivation. You have a lack of productivity. You have a lack of inspiration and stuff like that. You only creative of how to burn yourself out. You only creative of how to crash yourself out type shit. And you end up self-projecting that. And then you got your knowledge from some external doctrine that had to be through some type of authorship in a language. So you got lost in the word. You get lost into a certain mentality of an expectation of a thought, idea, feeling, emotion, like I've been saying. You know what I'm saying? You basically let the external world dictate how you want to live your life instead of just living your life. Instead of just having your own idea of how you want to live your life and just doing it. You have a certain imagination and vision of how you see yourself, and instead of you just doing that, you're going based upon the expectation of how the world wants you to go about that. And what is looked at as good and bad, and what is looked at as, oh, you helping the world and stuff like that, or you're doing something that's helping humanity and mankind and stuff like that, instead of you being a one-of-a-kind man. You know what I'm saying? Man or woman, God or goddess. So just in general, right? Your spirit is your space, right? And then your individual spirit is your soul. Your soul, like I just said, your soul is your individual spirit, which is like what the minute they start talking about, oh, the spirit is the breath and stuff like that. Look at the breath like it's a breath of fresh air. It's a certain scent. It's a certain sense. It's a certain perception and stuff like that. So you're a pocket. You're a breath of fresh air. So from you being a breath of fresh air, that's free flowing. You know what I'm saying? You have some you know what I'm saying? You have some renewal type of energy. You have something that's new. You got something that's fresh, like Febreze and stuff like that. You got a certain perception. You have a certain scent. You have a certain genuality. You have a certain authenticity about you and stuff like that. That's the thing you need to be worried about. You know what I'm saying? Creating your own world, creating your own atmosphere and stuff like that, creating your own scent, your own perception, and then making it relative to all the different things out here in existence, to where they could be also a part of your space too, and things of that nature. But you're always going to have your own individual space. And the more you know how to do that and make it relative to everything else out here in existence beyond just humans, because y'all be getting lost into mankind type shit and humanity and stuff like that. Like there aren't other things out here in existence, like different bacteria and cells and bugs and animals and stuff like that. They also sentient. It's like you have to make it relative in all realms of reality and stuff like that. It's not like the more you get more lost into that human bias and stuff like that, because I know we have more comprehension and awareness compared to like an animal and stuff like that, but they also doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to make it relative at like the highest level, nigga, like the highest level. So the minute you do that at the highest level, you end up moving like a celestial body and stuff like that. Like the same way with the seasons transition and stuff like that. And that's something that's greater than you that you can control. The same way another man can control how you want to go about something for the most part. Because you always going to have your own mind. It's not no thing to where some MK Ultra shit where we're going to immediately just read your mind because of this, that, and the third. No, you ain't going to know what the fuck I'm thinking word for word, beat for beat and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just in general, we're here to do that. Just in general, have a one-of-a-kind way of how to go about something, and also make it free flowing, and make it so we can put other people in a position to show them it's possible to also create and produce something in your own way, and not just my way of how to go about something. So it just go back into what I was talking about earlier with the whole deed shit and them motherfuckers being demons and they just trying to play God and all that type shit. So hell is just another world, which is just the underworld, which is just getting lost into the dead. It's just abode of the dead, the flesh, the body. So the more you get lost into that, you end up making a hell pocket for yourself, and that's what hell is. And hell is for the wicked. The wicked is people who, based upon their intentions, that's on their mind, they're intentionally evil. They're intentionally sinful. Look at sin like you been in something. So they're like in a inception. They're in a specific desire that they can't let go of. They're being intentionally vicious. They're being overly extreme. They have a lack of self-control. They're letting the world control how they want to go about something. And then it's either they're letting the world control how they want to go about something, so they lack self-control, or they literally lack self-control and stuff like that. They can't control their own mind. They can control their own thoughts. They all over the place and stuff like that. And they be self-projecting of how much power and control they got over your ass and stuff like that. So all that is like wicked type of energy. And okay, so like here's the thing, right? So when you go into these different hell pockets and Sheol and stuff like that, now it can be eternal where you end up crashing out and spiritually evaporating yourself, aka you ain't gonna be able to have no type of spirit again. You ain't gonna have your own subjective point of view again. You ain't gonna have your own perception. You ain't gonna have your soul. You end up crashing out and spiritually evaporating yourself because you have a lack of self-control. You have a lack of fulfilling that space yourself and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? You have validation issues and stuff like that. You always trying to cover something up instead of just genuinely, authentically being yourself and stuff like that. You always on defense mode and stuff like that, or you always on attack mode and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You always trying to attack others instead of attacking some type of internal energy of how to deal with something and have a better angle how to go about something. You trying to make things always going your way when life show you it's not always going to go your way, and you have to find a way to have a better healthy coping mechanism on how to deal with that, not some unhealthy coping mechanism where you need other people to add on to what you got going on and you use them as a mental crutch, and it just make you feel like you somebody important. You know what I'm saying? You just some bitch ass nigga on God. But like yeah. So it can be eternal to where you end up crashing yourself out so much to where you end up spiritually burning yourself out to where you can't even have that. You can't even have a mind no more. You can't reincarnate. You know what I'm saying? You can't have no creative ability no more and shit because you were self-projecting too much because you don't know how to self-reflect. You don't know how to deal with your own issues. You don't know how to build yourself up. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how to fulfill the space yourself. You always need something as an external reference or a mental crutch to fill that thing up. You get what I'm saying? You're doing things from the outside in, not from the inside out. Now, it can be eternal, or it can be like a period between different incarnations and stuff like that, right? So you have a carnation, look at that as birth, an incarnation, look at that as life or a mentality. You bring in life to something, and reincarnation. So look at that as like death. So you're reincarnated. You came in a certain body, light body, mentality, thought, idea, feeling, emotion, into the flesh. You know what I'm saying? You reincarnated. You came back into the flesh. Now, when you, based upon your life after death, which is just the afterlife and stuff like that, right? You could end up dying, and when you try to create yourself again, you end up going through a hell. So look at that as you have to learn how to let a lot of that shit go of what you did in your previous lifetime, because you get lost into a pocket of time. You get lost into a certain expectation of how to go about something. That's how I broke all this shit down and stuff like that. You basically in limbo. You know what I'm saying? That's what motherfuckers be talking about when you're in purgatory. You can be in purgatory when it comes to when you're trying to carnate. You're in purgatory when you're trying to incarnate, and you can be in purgatory while you reincarnated. You know what I'm saying? AKA being in the flesh. It's motherfuckers who be in hell and be miserable all their life and stuff like that, and it's something that they doing to themselves. So they can be in hell right now, in the flesh right now. And you could be in hell when you trying to carnate, and you can be in hell when you trying to incarnate and stuff like that. But for the most part, you have to create a way to stop crashing out. You have to create a way to stop being miserable. And you can't use something as a mental crutch. You have to deal with your own bullshit and stop trying to throw rocks and then hide your hand and put in your trash on other people's lawn. No, you have to figure out how to have some type of template to where you can make yourself stable. You can have yourself, you can make yourself have some type of foundation that you built yourself up. You know what I'm saying? You have to clear the room, nigga. You have to clear the room. Like what I was saying earlier with that example of like, look at that shit like a house. It's a certain room, nigga. It's a certain house. You have to clean up that house. You have to clean up that room, nigga. You have to make that shit clear, nigga. You have to make that shit, you know what I'm saying? You have to clear that scent, that stench. It stink, nigga. It smell like shit, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's dusty as fuck. You have to clean that shit. So look at that as like clean up mentality and stuff like that. You have to learn how to have a healthy coping mechanism on how to deal with that thought, idea, feeling, or emotion, and it's gonna show in the physical quality in the flesh of, oh, this person is trying to get their life together. Oh, this person is trying to stop doing the shit they previously was doing. You know what I'm saying? They letting the shit die out. They ain't trying to be a degenerate. They ain't trying to latch on to that certain way of how to go about something and keep going on with that thing because they don't learn. They don't know how to let go of a certain desire type shit. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep holding up new creative ways to keep on being intentionally wicked, intentionally evil, intentionally sinful, intentionally vicious, intentionally extreme. Intentionally, oh, you just showing a self-projection of validation issues and you lack self-control. Because, you know what I'm saying? The way you control yourself, your thoughts, idea, feeling, emotion is all over the goddamn place and stuff like that. But you want motherfuckers to give you, you want motherfuckers to basically give you validity, I can't say the word, validity behind you crashing out. You trying to make a character and make a persona about you crashing out and how much you lack self-control to stop yourself from burning out and crashing out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's basically how I look at it for real. So just in general, you have to like do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do to take yourself out of that hell pocket. Do what you gotta do to get out of purgatory type shit. So it's either you can literally crash yourself out to where you ain't your ass ain't coming back. Your ass ain't coming back. You literally spiritually evaporated yourself because you paid attention to some hellistic, demonic, devilish state of being for so long, you end up crashing yourself out and you lack the ability to even be sentient, to even be born, to even be creative, to even be productive. You know what I'm saying? Like you done crash yourself out of your natural ability of doing that yourself, and you have all these mental questions. So you just gonna end up, you know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, like, man, you going in the trash can, nigga. You trash. You're a trash spirit. You got trash mentality. You got trash character. You just a trash person. Yeah, you ain't coming back. You is not coming back. You're not coming back. All you doing is fulfilling a mental crutch of you not being able to let something go. You get lost into a certain expectation of how to go about something instead of creating a new way of how to go about something, a new vision, a new light, a new breath of fresh air, a new pocket. You keep on going to the degenerate shit. You keep going to the stinky ass, you know what I'm saying, shit smelling pockets and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you only go based upon the reception instead of the perception. You perceiving it in your way of how to go about it. You going based upon the perception of everything else. So you just keep on receiving. You keep on internalizing. You keep on personalizing shit. You know what I'm saying? When you ain't the only sentient person motherfucker out here and stuff like that, nigga. You ain't God. That's the main thing I'm trying to say. It's like, yeah, you just trying to be some deity. You just trying to be the only source of what that is. When you ain't the only motherfucker who know how to do some shit out here. You ain't the only sentient motherfucker who know how to do shit. You ain't the only motherfucker wearing awareness. You ain't the only motherfucker trying to create sentience and create birth and create worlds in your own atmosphere and stuff like that. So you end up crushing that shit. You know what I'm saying? You end up crushing your own life. You end up crashing out your own life. You end up burning your own spirit out, your own soul, your own way how to go about something, your own productivity and shit like that, to where you don't even got the ability to do that shit no more. So it's both sides. It's both sides. You can either get yourself out of that hell pocket by finding a way. You gotta find it though. You gotta find it. You gotta find a way to just accept the shit you went through and have a better way how to go about something, and you have to let that shit go. It's gonna define who you is to make you be who you is and stuff like that. But you have to let that shit go and just keep expanding, keep moving. You know what I'm saying? You can't stay stuck in that one stagnant position. You end up going to hell, or you're going to bring in and attract a lot of devilish, demonic, weak mentalities, and you trying to be king of the weak. You know what I'm saying? You trying to be the king of the dead. It's deteriorated. It's the king. It don't matter no more. Let that shit go, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So you either have to find a way to let that shit go, or you end up burning and crashing yourself out. So just in general, that's what hell is, and how you can also get yourself out of hell, out of Sheol. So y'all gotta stop self-projecting like that. Y'all gotta stop burning and crashing yourself out and stuff like that. I mean, hey man, you see the state of America and shit like that, so you already know what these motherfuckers going, trying to keep on doing that shit, self-projecting like that, trying to run shit. Oh God. But yeah, man.